Hello, Philip here, and in my new series of videos, Menu for a Spiritual Revolution, Health, Harmony and Happiness, book extracts, this is number 9. Do watch the other 8. Number 9, so number 8 I just finished talking, in number 8 I was talking about the learning skill and change and the fact that human beings are resistant to change, and this is because our education is so appalling. I touched on it, and I'm going to speak more about this education system because at the end of the day, change is life, and if we resist change, we're resisting life. So the best thing we can do to enjoy our life and to make it as healthy as possible, as happy as possible, as least stressful as possible, with the least amount of conflict and the most amount of harmony and all that sort of thing, and make our life a good life, we need to re-educate ourselves. In fact, what we have to do is we have to unlearn what we've learned and relearn, and in that way we are learning. And I can tell you as an educator for many years, where the main thing that I taught wasn't knowledge. The main thing I taught, and I didn't actually teach it, I enabled it to happen, was for all my students, and they're adult students, and since 2004 I've been teaching teachers, many of them doing their masters in teaching English at our university in Chiang Mai. I'm teaching learning. That's what I'm teaching. And in order to practice learning, because knowledge is something, that's the object of learning. But learning is a skill, an activity. Living is a skill and activity. Nobody teaches us how to live, and nobody teaches us how to learn. So, God, blimey. It's no wonder humanity's in such a calamity. Humankind is in a bind because we don't know how to learn and we don't know how to live. We don't know who we are, we don't know how life works, because they didn't teach us. Here's a little bit from my book, it's chapter 7. It is absolutely tragic that as kids, we spent a dozen years at school and we never learned how to learn. They didn't teach us. They didn't teach us because they weren't taught either. Just think about that for a minute. 12 years and thousands of lessons, and I've calculated it, I think it's about 14,000 hours of classroom time. 14,000 hours. What did you learn from that? Just think about it for a minute. 12 years and thousands of lessons, and at the end of it all, we don't know how to learn. And I mean doing things for ourselves, how to think, how to question, how to read critically, how to listen attentively, how to express oneself, just actually how to learn. They don't teach us how to learn, just to memorize things. You couldn't make it up. In fact, my friend, it's even worse than that, because many of the innate skills, attributes and desires we humans are born with as a human being are not only not developed and honed, they are actively discouraged and stunted in us by the utter homogeneity, mediocrity and mundanity of the whole humdrum educational experience. I like words. I love our English language. We are, in effect, nurtured out of our nature, making healthy and harmonious living as adults virtually impossible. Got lots of little midges flying around, so I'm not waving you away. What's human nature and what's human nurture? Are they different? They certainly come together. What I say is that our nurture, which is our schooling and our upbringing, but the schooling is delivered by teachers and the upbringing is delivered by parents or whoever looks after us at home. Our nurture antagonizes our nature. It doesn't complement it, it antagonizes it. Our nurture is all against the human essence. It's against thriving, it's against fun, it's against joy, it's against communication, collaboration, cooperation, competition, healthy competition that inspires us to do better and to enjoy the victory, but also to commiserate with the people that we beat and we all go back together again. So competition within a group format is a healthy thing. So, you know, when we're at school, we don't do any collaborating, no cooperating, we don't do any communicating, we just sit there and listen to the teacher and we just do whatever whatever we're meant to do. My mission, and I wrote this book, Menu for a Spiritual Revolution, Health, Harmony and Happiness. As the total guide for an adult's re-education, because we didn't really get an education. Those 14,000 hours barely helped us do anything. And as I say, in fact, I consider schooling, most schools, 99% of schools in the school systems and nearly all adults, the schools stole our childhood. And you know, childhood is things like joy and fun and freedom. Well, I want that in my adulthood, thank you very much. We had our childhood stolen in our childhood, and so we have none left when we're adults. And now life is a struggle. And we've got to, things have got worse in the last few years, but the developed world, you know, we've all got our homes, we've got our gadgets, we've got our holidays, you know, we've been living a pretty good lifestyle, but materialistic and consumption, and it's gone too far. And you know, we can't handle challenging times because we weren't taught how to solve problems and how to meet challenges. We weren't taught how to work together and collaborate. We haven't got those skills. So I wrote the book to help the reader explore actually who you are and how life works. And because if we don't know who we are, we really are struggling, because we'll assume who we are. Do you know who you are? Do you know how life works? Do you know in what ways and how you are connected to the whole planet and the whole universe? Did you know that humanity lives under a gigantic misunderstanding that we're all separate? And this is a disconnection, and this has disempowered us, it's discouraged us, disheartened us, demoralized us, even dehumanized us. So, spiritual revolution is the solution. It's a one-man, one-woman revolution. You do it yourself. It's not religion, it's simply learning quickly how to live in harmony within yourself. And if you're in harmony within yourself, you will have harmonious, strong, healthy relationships with everybody else, neighbours, strangers, people you love, close friends and family. And you'll have a harmonious relationship with the web of life. You won't be destroying it. Even if you don't know you're destroying it, you'll know now. You'll know whether you're destroying it or not. And what I'm doing now is, just to let you know, I'm building up the Infinity Learning Academy, and this is literally for me to teach in person, online, the learning skill and all the skills that go with it. In the last video, I mentioned that I call the learning skill the mother of all skills, but this mother comes with lots of siblings. Here's a couple. Curiosity to learn. Listening to stories, exploring things, asking questions, doing stuff, being creative, working things out for oneself, solving problems, being inspired, having fun, feeling joy, expressing oneself, collaborating with classmates and so on, and doing so in an environment which supports you emotionally but challenges you cognitively. So, I mean, learning, I think I'm going to summarise and close this video off now. I used to start one of my lessons with my teacher students, and I'd walk in, hello everybody, right, and then I'd write up on the whiteboard, learning is a crap experience. Capital C, capital R, capital A, capital P. Learning is a crap experience. And by now they're used to me delivering mini shocks and things, and then I'd say, right, okay, in groups of 3, can you please discuss what you think that means and what you think I mean by it? And I love acronyms, and I'll cut to the chase. Learning is a crap experience. Learning is cognitive, it's reflective, it's affective, and it's perceptive. Now, you'll know cognitive, of the mind. Reflective means going through it all, replaying it, looking at it after the event. So we may have a 2-hour lesson and I may be teaching the students for an hour and a half or an hour and 40, and in the final 20 minutes we talk about the learning that we did, and this is reflecting on what went on. Well, Philip, we didn't really understand what you were saying there, or Philip, we loved that activity, and so we both, me and all the students, we learned together what's working and what isn't working, simply by reflecting on the learning process itself. So cognitive, reflective, affective, I think this is jargon within the educational world. Affective here means of the heart, emotions, feelings. And I can tell you, if you feel in fear in the classroom, or you're bored, or you're on edge, or you're anxious, or you don't understand and you've got a test coming up, this is part of your learning experience. This will block your learning. On the flip side, if the learning environment is supportive and the teacher is not only happy to answer your questions, but bounces them back to you and asks you to answer your own questions, and all the classmates get on with each other and we can all see each other, we're not in rows and columns, and we can all collaborate, and we work in this atmosphere that everybody likes to be there because everybody's enjoying the learning, because ultimately speaking, human beings love learning when it's happening. It's just that we didn't know what it was when we went to school. So that's affective, very much influences whether you're going to learn or what you're going to learn and so on. And the last one is perceptive, and that's probably worth a video all on its own. Your perception is based on all your own unique previous accumulated experiences in your own life. So it'll be different to mine. Now, if we're both from the same town, we both went to the same school, our parents are next door neighbours, we follow the same football team, we like the same things and so on, our perception may be very similar. But still there'll be differences, because I went off on a holiday to Africa and you went on a holiday somewhere else. But nevertheless, we all have our own unique perception, and it's up to the teacher to guide that. And you can have misperceptions and you can have perceptions. So I think that's a good way to end this one. Learning is a crap experience. Don't forget that. And learn how to learn. It's truly rewarding, and it allows us to navigate change without fear, without resistance. And it allows us to proactively engage in change. And whenever you buy a book, some kind of self-development book, or you want to learn something, you are being proactive, and you are wanting to change your life for the better. Let's finish with a quote. Max Egan, who's a wonderful activist from Australia, he said, "People want change, but they don't want to change." And it's actually correct on one level, but I disagree on another level. People want change, yes, but the reason they don't want to change is because they can't. We weren't given the skills. So adults need an education, and when we get our education, then we can help today's children, because at the moment today's children are in the schools getting an anti-education, having their childhood sucked out of them. We have to break the cycle. So look out for the Infinity Learning Academy. It's coming onto the scene in 2023, and I'm going to make it as big as I can. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.